Hello everybody and welcome to Adobe Live. We would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land in which we are creating and streaming from today and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'm Flynn and I'm joined by the fantastic Paola Kassa. Hi Paola, how are you?
Hi Flynn, I'm good. I'm happy to be back for day 2. I'm antsy.
You ready to roll?
Yeah. Now that I started, I'm ready to keep going.
That's it. Well, thank you for coming back. This is great. So this is part 2 of our 2-part series in reimagining your own personal brand. So please don't hesitate to throw questions in chat. We had lots of great questions. I don't even think we got through them all on Tuesday. So apologies to anyone that we didn't make it to. But we had so many great questions about building your own brand, I think we touched a little bit on revolutionary versus evolutionary kind of styles.
Yeah.
Logo marks and typography and all sorts of stuff, which was really great and lots of fun. And so if you want to check that one out, just check it out on YouTube or Behance, watch the replay. We go quite in depth, but we'll kind of pick up where we left off today and throw your questions in chat in Behance and also on YouTube. We'll keep an eye on questions there as well. But Paola, should we maybe kick off with a bit of a recap of the Tuesday that was?
Yeah, okay. So on Tuesday, well, here's my original branding. This is what we had up the whole time. This is what I have currently. Like I said before, we talked about, it's kind of been like a throw on whenever I have a new idea.
Right.
It's developed that way and it's been a long time. It definitely needs a revamp. So this was my original logo and this is the logo that we worked on Tuesday. This is kind of like my 2 variations with maybe going off the page, not sure yet. And then also this kind of like typeface based logo, which I have kind of tweaked since Tuesday. I played around with the spacing and everything just because that gets a little tedious and I didn't want to just spend the whole time showing everyone how I space lettered.
Can spend a lot of time on that, can't we? Yeah.
Yes, and I'm definitely the type of person who takes a long time with that and I love working with it, so I get kind of lost in it and if I was doing that on stream, I'd just be sitting here in silence. So yeah. And then I added a few more things. This is our mood board. We're kind of just working with just kind of for color and just general inspiration. I always like to keep up imagery. And then I've added some like new typefaces just to look at and take a look at what I'm going to be using, especially, once it comes to my website eventually and everything. I just wanted to look around at some options just to have them up and maybe explore that a little bit, maybe with the end slate that I'm going to make for YouTube, things like that. I'm going to delete this off the side. We're not going to have it here anymore. I just don't want to look at it anymore. I'm ready for new.
Okay. Leave the past behind.
Yeah, I think it's time. I mean, we all have the reference point for where we started. Let's continue.
All right. I like it.
Yeah. So like I said, I've played around with this logo a little bit just to make them even. They weren't matching before just because we were exploring. Now they are pretty much what I'm thinking. So that feels done.
Cool.
And then I feel like we can go into color, just start exploring color palettes.
Okay.
I always set up little circles to make my color. It just makes me happy. And like I said, when I'm doing a branding project, I like to stay inspired the entire time. Especially when you start in black and white, which is crucial. I think it's nice to have something that brings a refreshment during it. Yeah, it makes it fun.
I'm with you. Yeah. That's an interesting point. Yeah, we covered it a little bit, like having some of the reference around, and even though you were designing in black and white for the logo, which is really important, so you don't get too distracted by the colors and things. And it also has to, the logo has to make sense in black and white because sometimes it might have to be. But it's very interesting. Yeah, wanting to have that kind of reference and kind of almost mood board or elements of a mood board just on there, just to remind you that this will eventually have color. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like to keep it fun the whole time.
Nice.
Let's get into color. What I'm going to do is open the Pantone swatches, just because I really like to explore Pantone colors, even though I don't have a Pantone book.
Right. Does anyone have a Pantone book? I used to have one years ago.
They're very expensive.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. And I totally understand it, but I had access to them when I was in uni. So now, without having access to them, I still like to try to be inspired by it. So I go into swatch libraries and there's color books. And then there is the certain color books that you would be using for reference, which I'm going to use solid uncoated, and that opens this. And online, I found a little PDF of some colors.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
kind of for inspiration, Pantone, I just wanted to maybe start here just to show, like, if people wanted to know about swatches. I always had really a lot of fun using swatches, Pantone swatches specifically. So yeah, I just wanted to show that and share that today if anyone was interested. I found this online, so I'm sure it's easy to find, easy to download, and get started like that. I don't know if you're interested in, like, maybe starting with color, that could help.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna search. It's kind of fun. Like, it's a fun process to search between the colors instead of just picking your own. But of course, you have to remember all of those hex codes and everything when you are creating a brand. You have to, you know, if you're building your brand, you have to have all your colors and keep that somewhere. Make your own style guide, you know. I'm gonna just search. So 355. See, there's 355. See, and there's that color. It's just fun. Like, you don't have to do it, but that's a great way to find colors if you're looking for something specific.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I just wanted to show that.
I like it a lot.
Yes.
I was always confused by the uncoated, coated, like semi-gloss, like the different, different Pantone books. It always confused me a lot. And then I realized everyone just uses Pantone uncoated, which is exactly what you, what you picked then.
I think it's because the uncoated is just, like, more versatile. You can find shiny and unshiny, but coated is always going to be shiny, which I don't think people want. People don't want shiny, especially if they're just using it for digital, not print.
There you go.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely going for a more blue toned green, like almost an emerald green. I'm not sure if emerald green is considered blue tone, but yeah, that's what I'm looking for here. Like I said, in the last stream, I was inspired by this green, or just having green in my brand, but definitely not this one. It just doesn't feel exactly right for my style. I do like it though. I love all these shades of green that I feel like are being used in design so much more now. Green's finally getting recognition.
Green's back.
Yeah, green's back.
I was going to, it's green's moment. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not something that you see a lot. You see a lot of reds, a lot of blues, and things like that. But yeah, not so much green. I wonder why.
Yeah, maybe it's not a strong color to a lot of people, but to me, it's so like eye capturing to me. I'm drawn to it. Every time I see branding with green, I click on it, or I, take a deeper look.
There you go. Yeah. Magic green.
It is. It's something about it. And green is not even my favorite color, so I don't know where this has come from, but I'm just really into it. I'm looking at also really bright pinks. I don't know how extreme I want to go, but like I've been saying about this whole rebrand, I want bold. I want excitement. So definitely pink is me. I mean, we had light pink in my first branding, but I don't want to go as soft. So I'm definitely feeling something a little bit brighter. I don't know how I feel about those next to each other. Once I see it, it's a little shocking.
So is it purely kind of visual, bit of trial and error when it comes to color?
Yeah, definitely. I like to pick a few bold ones that I would maybe be using in variations, but then also pick a few neutrals, especially for background colors, options for the logo itself. If it's over a dark background or a light background, how's that going to look in a neutral, but how's it going to look in a bright color? So I do like to include always some grays or browns as well, just in a color palette, just so I have that versatility within my branding. But yeah, I don't necessarily use every color, but I just really like to have kind of an array of colors to choose from when I think back to, okay, what is my brand trying to say? Or what am I trying to say as a designer? And when I put my work out there. But like I said, I definitely want my work to speak for itself. So I'm definitely not trying to go overly trendy or anything with any of this branding. I really want to just stick to me, so that I can, play around with trends and do things like that with my actual work and projects.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. We touched on it a little bit on Tuesday, that idea of kind of don't want the brand to be like so loud because you're creating content kind of as part of that brand.
Yeah.
Which I think is something interesting for us all to consider when, you know, you're creating a brand.
Yeah.
Don't want it to distract so much.
Yeah, as designers, if you're making, you know, your own logo, you're working on your own branding, and then you're potentially wanting to work with clients or as a freelancer, you have to think about how you're coming across as well. You know, is it coming across as your style? Is it coming across a little bit too trendy that people say, oh, I don't know if I could work with them because it looks like this very specific thing.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have a little bit of versatility and just be yourself and have, you know, make that come across, which I think that's always what we're trying to do, right? We're always trying to communicate something with our design.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that might be a little too dark brown. I'm trying to find like a nice, not orangey brown, but a brown.
You have not a big deal, but you have a little thing down the bottom about the Pantone, some Pantone colors being phased out.
Sorry, that is just...
You just close it, it's all good. And yeah, they're still in the app, but I don't have any insider information to share or anything. But yeah, I know that there are some Pantone licensing things happening. It's slowly being phased out, but you can still access them in the app. So I don't know. Something's going on there.
Something's going on.
One day you might open up exactly what you showed us and it might not be there. I'm not sure.
Right. It's just a fun way to start finding color, not necessary at all.
Yep.
Especially if you don't have a book, which I do not.
Yeah, I assume most people don't. It's the sort of thing you see kicking around a studio.
Yeah. And I am definitely not a studio. I'm a one-woman show. I'm trying to maybe pull from just one of these colors, because I know that even in my inspiration images, sometimes I'm like, oh, well, there's a nice color in the background there, and I just try to find maybe that for inspiration. Like, look, there's all different brown shades going on. It has nothing to do with this branding. I'm not trying to copy. It's just pulling colors, and I love it. That's what's fun too about having your mood boards up the whole time.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So question from chat. Do you have a favorite color combination?
Ooh, color combination. I really, really love like periwinkle blue. I've been using it a lot lately, and then combining it with an almost rust color, kind of orangey, kind of red. I really like that combination. I just feel like it looks really beautiful together and can be used in a lot of different ways. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. It always changes.
Always changes, yeah. Exactly. And if you have any questions, by the way, those who are just joining us, as we're rolling along, please don't hesitate to throw them in chat as well, and we will ask away.
Yeah. I mean, that is like, I'm having fun with it, but I don't know if I'm going to be using black in my branding, which I did before use a lot of black. That was kind of my main thing. And I think I was a little afraid to do something with color because I was afraid it wouldn't be classic. But now I feel like I think I trust my abilities better.
I trust you. I trust you completely.
Wow, that means so much. Thank you.
You've got this.
Yeah, I trust my abilities to make things classic. You know, like I don't need to be just using black and white. So
yeah. I can totally get the idea of it though, right? Like if you've got a black logo, then it will always work kind of overlay over anything. And if it doesn't, you can just switch it to white. And you're kind of done. So I can get the attraction to just kind of having a kind of black logo or a white logo.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said on Tuesday's stream, I definitely love white. I'll probably use it more. Just because I didn't use it in the last branding as well.
Yeah.
Trying to find my perfect green still, but who knows if we'll ever capture it.
And do you ever sometimes like go through this process and then you're maybe in the application stage, like you're trying to create some assets and things like that, and you're like, actually, you know what? When when I'm actually using this color, I don't particularly like it, and you kind of go back and change your branding? Like, does it kind of go back and forth like that?
Definitely. I mean, I like always to be a work in progress. I don't like to finalize anything, which maybe is a bad thing, but with my work, I at least think of this part as the behind the scenes so that, you know, it doesn't need to be set in stone. It doesn't need to be this particular way all the time. It can be up to me because it is my branding as a designer. So I feel like I'm just kind of working with it as a reference point, and then I can just decide later if it needs to change, and no one is none the wiser.
That's right. That's true.
So, yeah. So yeah, I just want to start maybe applying color to some of this just to look at it. And again, it's nice to have these little circles because you can just start clicking and just start utilizing. But it really is for reference point, like I said. I'm just going to shrink this for a minute, make it look a little small. I think it would be fun to think about what it would look like with the bold colors with the bold logo, and then maybe the more simple colors with the simple logo, or vice versa, just kind of juxtaposing that.
Yeah.
This is a very, very bright pink. It's I like it, but I'm just so not used to it. It's funny. I'm like fighting with myself a little bit here.
When you're sort of seeing the logo, what kind of are you kind of in your mind's eye seeing any particular application where it will be shown, like at the end of your YouTube video, or are you thinking about the banner? Like even subconsciously, are you kind of imagining where it might go?
Yeah, as soon as I was making it, I think I was thinking about those elements of it. Especially, well, this one will definitely have to be the one that's in the corner of the video the whole time, because that is going to be a transparent, and it would not do well with having this coming out. It's not going to work on the video, but this will be small scale in the corner. So I definitely have to think about how that looks. And then for like the YouTube banner, like how my channel is going to look. Do I want my logo on it, or do I want just my name logo, my namesake logo? I'm not sure yet. So I feel like I have to think about those things as I'm making it and kind of look at it and take a look and maybe change my mind a little bit. But yeah, I like to change my mind. You know.
I'm learning that. That's good.
Yeah.
I like it. Andrea in chat says, hi, big fan of your videos.
Oh, hi. I'm so glad you're here. That makes me so happy when people reach out to me and they say they watch me on YouTube. I know it's white on white, but
do you find like on YouTube, like the people that watch the video and the comments and things like that, is it generally positive, or do you have to deal with any YouTube drama or anything like that?
It is generally positive. I feel like I do get a few comments, and most of them I feel like just don't make sense. It's just like, well, I wouldn't do it this way, or you did it in not the quickest way. And I'm like, well, is that really a big problem? I don't know. But yeah, like one time I had a comment on a logo design video where they were like, well, all you did was put a logo together. Like that was essentially their comment, was like, all you did was pick fonts and then manipulate the fonts and then add an element. I'm like, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah,
that's how you make a logo. Like, what did you expect out of me?
That's great. I love that.
It was funny. But yeah, I definitely get down on myself, definitely from the comments sometimes if they're a little harsh, but people, they feel like they can say anything because they're just on the internet.
They're hidden from the internet.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I try not to take it too personally.
Yep, absolutely. And I guess the wider your net goes as well, the more randoms might potentially come in, right? Like the more followers on that sort of platform, the broader the reach. I think.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. Every time I have growth though, it's like a little moment of just like a few more people being angry, and then it's back to normal. So,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, okay, so from here, I kind of wanted to remove that. Let me move my white logo out of the way. I wanted to just maybe start working on the end slate, which is what plays at the end of my videos. So
Right.
I always have an end slate because at the end of your video, you can add a subscribe button and a video button that they can click on another video from your channel. And then I like to add a video element to that part. So I want to create kind of a frame itself that you can still see me in, but is still designed and has space to, you know, follow me on social media or whatever I want to write on there. So I'm going to create another artboard. And I'm going to change the size, which I need to remember my size is 1920 by 1080.
The classic.
Yes, I always forget it. I'm always like, is it 1080 by 1920?
Oh, me too. No, I do the same thing all the time. And I Google it and I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, I always Google it. I'm like, I'm sure my Google search history is ridiculous. Oh, whoops, I wrote it on the wrong one. And of course, 1920 by 1080.
Have another question from chat.
Yeah.
How different is it designing for YouTube as opposed to other platforms? Are there any unique challenges? I guess this is an example. This is like this particular kind of asset is a unique thing for YouTube. But yeah, is it different?
It's definitely different, I think, because, and I let it get to me sometimes because I see people posting a lot of projects with clients and a lot of work and personal work. And for me, I feel like all of my work is personal work or self-prompted or just a lot of that. And I feel like it is hard for me to maybe have like more design work because a lot of my work is just content.
Right.
And so then I feel like I'm dragging behind because I'm not making project after project. Some of my videos are not making projects. They're just talking about new things, or, you know, I talked about AI and stuff in a last video and I just explored that. So it wasn't necessarily a big project or with a client or whatever. So yeah, sometimes I feel like I can kind of be like dragging behind, but that's probably my biggest challenge with it is that I just want to like I want to create and yeah, and it's just, it gets hard sometimes.
I think that feeling isn't uniquely to you. I think if you follow a lot of people like on platform like Instagram or something like that, you go to sleep and then you wake up and then all these people on the other side of the world have posted all these amazing projects and you're like, oh my gosh, it's incredible.
I know.
It's very easy to be overwhelmed.
Yes, definitely. And I think imposter syndrome just hits us all. And I think it hits us all as designers, but then, you know, with a platform or feeling like you have to get things out there and you have to be posting consistently, that can just be intimidating. It can be scary.
Totally.
But yeah, I definitely have imposter syndrome. I am right there with everyone who also is dealing with
we
that.
all do.
Yeah.
We all do, for sure.
So yeah, I'm thinking for this, I want to just kind of create like a frame or maybe even a kind of looking like a page, like a digital page that's flipped. I'm gonna just play around with it and make it look like a little frame. And then this is where the video will be behind it. So I can, you know, have a whole background. And in a minute, I'll bring this into Photoshop so we can kind of like visualize it a little bit better with imagery and stuff. I'm better working at images in Photoshop for sure.
Cool.
So I feel like that's the place we'll explore that today. But yeah, I'm just using the pen tool to kind of create a shape on top of a shape right now, if anyone's curious.
And do you use a mouse? Do you use the trackpad? Do you use a Wacom or like stylus of any kind?
I literally have a mouse here and I'm not using it. I'm using the trackpad because I am a trackpad user for life. And people, actually a lot of my followers make fun of me for it. It's so funny. They're always like yelling at me in my comments like, you're using a trackpad for all of this? I'm like, yes, I am. It's just what I'm used to. I'm so comfortable.
Hey, I'm with you. I don't own a mouse for my Mac, which is where I do all my design work.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, it's just trackpad all the time. all day?
Finally, I found my people.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Yeah, people are always yelling at me in my comments, and it makes me laugh every time. And then I just removed the front here so we can see what that looks like cut out. It's just kind of like a weird shape. Like I'm kind of thinking like construction paper.
Oh yeah, so it's kind of cut out kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure. Like I'm really still exploring. So if you guys are watching my channel at a later date and you see not this, you see something a little bit different, sorry. I'm still exploring it all. But yeah, I'm definitely going this direction. So you'll probably see something like this on my channel once we're all done with all of this.
Nice. I mean, and that's the stage that we're at, right? Like that early stage, which is, exploring, and it might end up looking nothing like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you might nail it the first 5 minutes that you start putting something down.
I just am in the mind of I always make something bad, really bad, before I make something good. So
yeah, you got to get the bad ideas out.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
I love it. Another question from chat. Keep them coming, everyone. How are you finding the balance of maintaining growth online and not being negatively impacted by it? That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I feel like that's what I'm always struggling with daily in my line of work that I've chosen. I'm not sure. I'm still figuring out how to stay positive, especially when the comments get me down, or messages, or just seeing other people's work and feeling like I'm not good enough. That is always going to come. I feel like that feeling is always going to be there, to just feel like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing things well? It's always going to come, I think, in every profession. So
yeah, especially
creative professions, especially. So yeah, I'm still figuring it out, but I'm staying positive in that I love my community. I think that when I get a great message of someone saying, you know what, you've really inspired me and you've changed how I design, or you're my favorite designer, and I'm like, how am I your favorite designer? Like, that just blows my mind, but it makes my day. It makes me so happy to have this community and know that at least I'm helping people and inspiring people with my design work. And I think even if you don't have a really big platform or anything, you can post and inspire other people with your work, and that's cool. I love that we have that. We have social media for that.
Yeah.
That's the positives of social media, right? So yeah, coming into Photoshop, here is just a blank slate, but I wanted to bring in those kind of reference photos that I had from Adobe stock. They will not be me, obviously, but if we can pretend, this would, for reference, what would be behind everything. I kind of chose photos that had the same feeling or just look I wanted out of my channel and my images and what I wanted out of my brand. Move the photo. So yeah, if you can kind of like picture it for reference, like this would be the end of a video. So I would be behind it, I actually really like this. Let me go back into Illustrator.
Was wondering which one you were going to go for then.
I'm keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's behind at the moment. Let's bring that forward. And let's definitely change the size of this, because it does not need to be taking over.
Right.
The logo doesn't need to be the main part of this. What I can do too is like kind of even stretch it even more. Pull it maybe across the page. But yeah, definitely still figuring this one out. So like if it were pulling all the way across.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Let's explore.
And if you're just joining us, we're here with Paola Kassa, and this is part 2 of our 2-part series. So if you want to see some of the kind of initial idea and thinking behind the logo and where we got to here, you can always check that out on replay. We're about halfway through today as well. Time goes fast.
Flies.
Always goes so quick. So don't hesitate if you do have any questions as we're rolling along.
I hate this. I'm just being honest.
I did a stream, I think it was last week I did a stream, and my first stream, I really enjoyed everything I did. And then the second one, I think I said I hate everything that I'm making right now about 3 or 4 times, to the point where chat's like, you just hate everything that you're doing. And I was like, yeah, sometimes that happens.
Like, sorry.
Nothing was working. I like it for the,
I just feel like I need the logo somewhere on here just to bring it all in. But again, I have to think about where I'm going to put the video and the subscribe button, like where those buttons come up. So they just need to have space. So I don't want to overwhelm the frame. But yeah, like maybe if it was just a little bit off, kind of. I like this collage-y feeling.
Yeah, I'm totally getting collage-y vibes. I think it helps that someone's in the background, like doing something tactile. But yeah, I definitely get that feeling.
Yeah, definitely. And I liked that because I was thinking, more of what I'm going to be working on in videos, or what I'm going to aspire to be creating and doing, and what I want my channel to look like. And I think a rebrand is really helping kind of think about my channel in a new way. Or think about what I want to do in a new way. That's some big type. Whatever I was doing last time was very big. So I'm gonna just play around with some type on here, like maybe my social media, or just like my @ just to have on the end slate. And I played around with some typefaces in Illustrator as well. Let me just show you here what I had up. So I just kind of had a few of maybe what would be underneath my name.
Could we zoom in a little bit closer on there? Just so anyone that's, awesome.
Yeah, so I had a few different ones, and I just had like maybe what I would write, but also maybe I would just write graphic design, art, life, like what the channel was about, if that was on the banner. I'm not sure, but I really like pairing the really strong logo type with a kind of soft serif typeface. So I'm really liking this one, ITC Galliard, and also the italic version of this too. So I really like working with just really opposites to see how that would look. Yeah, so, and I'm just really loving those styles right now. I've always loved serif type over sans serif. I've really studied into that a lot more and was much more interested in that. So yeah, here's that. And there's a few different weights, so it can always pair a little bit better if it's not as thin, especially with a really bold type. So like, even if I just had my @ in that typeface, I feel like that still is such a crucial part of thinking about branding, is what are you going to use for your body text and not your display text? And what are you going to use for your logo text? What are you going to use for your website text? And I think you really need to think about all of those things if you're creating your branding.
Would you always have, or would you ever, either way you want to answer the question, always or ever have, one serif and one sans serif? Or are there some instances where you're like, no, this is the family, it's a sans serif, and this is what we're going to use for consistency?
Yeah, I definitely do mix it up, especially in my last branding, like I showed my contracts and everything. Those were all also sans serif, and I still really like that. I still think I'll keep that around. I think it was Mr. Eves, or no, it was Proxima Nova, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I still feel like I would keep it all sans serif for a brand for sure, just for consistency. But I really like playing up the two different ones as well, just as of recently. Honestly, I think I stuck with one or the other for a while. But I think it's good to mix it up, but I definitely don't go over like 2 to 3 typefaces per brand.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, I really like just having this. It just looks pretty. I think what my brand is also, like me as a person, as a designer, I think I like to have very feminine work, whatever that means to anybody, but I like femininity in my work. So that's what I try to achieve. Yeah, I really am enjoying this. Like, this is really fun to me.
Yeah.
Especially just for the ending of videos. I just wanted to make one other thing on Illustrator too that we can kind of look at. Let's just move this guy out of here. Move him off. Oh, he won't let me. He yelled at me. There we go. And maybe make something here.
While you're doing that, I saw that you're doing something with Adobe Express as well.
Oh, yeah.
At the moment. That's
yes.
Cool. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I just did a video that was sponsored by Adobe to talk about Adobe Express, and that was really exciting to work with Adobe again. And also I'm working with Adobe all week. I'm on here, I'm on doing that.
Yeah.
It all coincided. It was really funny.
That's
but
great.
yeah, I love Adobe Express. Like I've been using it a lot for social media and stuff. So we talked about it. We had a meeting with the team, and they wanted me to talk about my thoughts and how I use it. And I have been using it a lot for social media, my thumbnails, things like that. So yeah, it's perfect timing to do all of this at the same time. And it's just so fun. Like, it just made me so happy to do that. But yeah, I love Adobe Express, and it's free to download. So everyone's been,
yeah, it's free and easy to use, which is really great.
Yeah, I'm glad that video got a lot of good responses too, which I'm happy about, that people are interested in it.
And I think maybe Johanna can find that. Maybe you can find that video so we can share it in chat so everyone can know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's the latest video on my channel.
Oh, easy.
She wants to find it. Yeah, I just posted.
So what are we doing here? I'm trying to guess.
I just wanted to see what this shape would look like. And I'm gonna change the color of it, but I need to continue on the shape. I think I was a little distracted in what I was talking about and what I was doing. But I just wanted to make this shape to see what it would look like. So that's a little bit too long. I just wanted to see maybe if it looked like a page, like kind of a digital page, not so much like an actual 3D-ish page. Let me go back to the pen tool. Let me delete this part of it actually and delete. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted to do.
Oh, right.
Kind of like I just wanted to make a triangle. I don't know why I was making it complicated for myself. But kind of like this idea, I'm not sure why I'm interested in this, but maybe for the end slate as well. Like, I'm just thinking of different shapes we could be doing. I didn't really align that very well, but it looks fun. I think I do like the collage aspect that I was doing before a little bit more, but I just wanted to try this out and see what it looked like. Because I do love that digital influence with design, kind of like how people have frames of, a website or something using that. I like that idea. It is just fun, but I don't know if it's completely my brand.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to see what that looked like. Like, this just looks It looks nice, but I don't think it'll work for the end slate now that I'm thinking about it, because I do want to have like a cutout part of it, which before I just had half of the screen a block of color and half the screen was me. So I would just put my video right there in that screen. But right now it wouldn't, I don't see how it could like look like that. I just don't think this is right. But
so when you say it's you, is it like a static photo or something that you put in, or is it a video that's underneath that YouTube's playing?
I just add a clip of myself from the video, whether it be like something funny I was doing while filming or just another little part of the video, just saying like, oh, also this, and I just add, and it's just me talking or part of the video, you know, me working on something, a sped up video or something like that. So it is like a moving part of, it's still part of the video. I like to add like a little extra content at the end, at least so you stay till the end. You want to check it out. So I do that. So that's kind of why, going back into Photoshop, that's kind of why this works, because if you think about it, this will be, I use a placeholder image here, but this will be a moving video, me actually saying things, me talking, and there'll be buttons on the screen to interact with.
Yeah, that's cool. Would you ever like mock up the buttons as well, or like are they in a fixed position, or do you get to choose where they go?
You can choose which, actually, let me just like do kind of a little mock-up here, because you can choose where they will go and you can move them around on the screen, but I would like it to just work every time, so I don't have to really like always move it around on the screen. So it could be something kind of like here, like the video would be here, and then the subscription button is a circle. So it's just, oh, of course I made them in the same layer.
Of course, because we're in Photoshop now, so we need to deal with layers.
Yeah. And that is where I get a little messy. But yeah, maybe like that would be down here, maybe. I think you can change the size of it on YouTube, if I'm remembering correctly. You can change the size of the video. I'm not sure about the circle that pops up for the subscribe, like click here to subscribe, and it's just my profile picture. So so this will be the thumbnail to another video, and this would be a picture of me to hit subscribe. So I kind of like that, you know, this little collage look of just having something on the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I like to keep it simple, you know, and it could be, I might even change it. It could just be like white, but right now I'm really liking green. I think green will do well on the channel.
It's green's time to shine, for sure.
It is. So yeah, let's work on maybe a banner as well for YouTube, which would be like the front of my channel.
Right. So when you go to your channel, it's the big long, it's like the longest graphic ever in social media, isn't it? It's so long.
And it is so weird to make, because the dimensions, you have to put in really weird dimensions when you upload it. Like it really needs to be a really big image. And it's kind of funny, like you have to play around with it. I don't think there's one right way to do it. Even with those sites that have templates and stuff, I don't think I think you just have to do trial and error, really.
Right.
Because, because if it's too big in the middle like this, if this were too big in the middle, it just wouldn't show up right on all platforms.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really weird one. I don't know why it's set up this way, like, because you'll only see the middle section of it, but they want you to have a full image, so that if it were on a television, I think it would work. Yeah. It's very strange. It's like television, mobile, and, you know, computer. So it's very strange. So this one will definitely be a lot of trial and error with actually uploading it onto YouTube, actually exporting all of this.
Right.
So this is definitely the exploratory phase of it. But yeah, there are maybe thoughts of having an image as the banner on my channel, but I'm not sure if I want it to be image based or if I want it to be just a color.
And do you have sort of these sorts of images, or is there a photo shoot upcoming?
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a photo shoot with a friend who's offered to do my branding and stuff. So like my photo shoot branding.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll be doing photos hopefully in a certain style. I mean, I really chose images here that were just kind of, I like the style of the photography more than anything. And I really, want like creative headshots. So that's kind of why I was just thinking about all these along the lines, just to create the whole brand experience. I like to cover everything. So I wanted to include it here in just the whole branding, like just even dragging them into here, I think would just kind of encapsulate the whole brand.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love thinking about all aspects of it. I know they're going to come in pretty large, but even on Illustrator, just to showcase branding and like what we're looking for, what we're going for as a brand, as a creative, like how's that going to look? What happened here?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Brought in a single pixel or something somehow. I've never seen that before.
That was very odd. But yeah, just like showcasing the whole brand's aesthetic. I like to do that. And like I said, it helps me stay inspired when I design. Just having these images here is fun. It does kind of make it look like, oh wow, it's coming together.
Yeah, it starts making it feel very real, doesn't it? Just a little bit of photography, like stylized photography.
Yeah, especially because I have such a clear vision of what I want for that. And oh, it did it again. That is so strange. That has never happened to me. Okay. But yeah,
maybe there was an element there. Maybe there was something left over from when you had the branding stuff there and you were actually dropping it into a tiny...
Oh, maybe, yeah. Totally.
Something like that.
What happened?
That's my guess. Was there anything particular that, like, search words or parameters that you looked up to get the type of images that you're after?
Yeah, so if you're looking on Adobe stock, I put a lot of creative woman headshot or creative woman in studio, working in studio or working in art studio. I think I looked up florist because a lot of those images come up with the style I want.
Right.
Which is interesting. Just because it's hard to search specifically a style with graphic designer, because everyone has their own style. And I think when you look up graphic design, you're going to get a lot of tech or computer or...
Right.
Which isn't really me in terms of what my branding is, but obviously it's still creative and I want to have some photos at my desk, things like that. So that'll work with my brand. But yeah, definitely don't want like techie and all of that because it's not really me. I want to have just the creative style, like artist working style. Yeah, that makes sense. If you search for that sort of stuff and you get like the multi-monitors and, big screens and beautifully... Those desks always look like no one's ever worked at them. Yeah.
Well, like who could work there? It's too clean.
Yeah, and I was like, my desk definitely doesn't look like that. I don't... Like, I want to be a little bit relatable to what I actually am. So, yeah. So yeah, definitely photos like this. I believe these were all from the same photo shoot. So once I find a style of photo or a model or something that works with what I was looking for, I just keep looking at like similar images. So that helps a lot in searching for brand images or like placeholder images, especially if you're making a mock-up brand or something. Like say you are making a mock-up brand for a floral shop or something, like I have on my channel. Like you can go and find really cool photos within the style you're looking for that you want to create as a brand. Which I think is cool. It's really fun to create a style and create a whole brand's vision, even if it is like your own personal project. But for me, this is definitely personal branding. So this is how I want to come across in my branding as a graphic designer.
Nice.
Yeah.
And just letting you know, we've got about 5 minutes left. I know it's gone quick, but so last chance for any questions or comments in chat as well. Nikki in chat said, "Hey Paola, going to obsess with your designs. Love from India."
Hi. Oh my gosh, all the way from India, which now is, I guess, closer now that I live in Australia. But
yeah, it's closer closer than when you're in the US, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, wait, all the way in India, but now I'm way closer.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Still getting used to the fact that I'm in Australia.
I'll bet. Yeah.
Yeah, not realizing where I am in the world at the moment. But yeah, in terms of color for the banner, I'm not sure what I want still. I would love opinions if people want to come to my channel and tell me, or just tell me in the chat now. I'm still figuring it out what I'm gonna do with the banner, especially because it's such a big part of the channel.
Yeah, because it's one of the first thing right up the top, isn't it? When someone comes to your channel for the first time.
Yeah. So it's like, definitely has to show your personality, or at least show what you do. Like, I feel like you do need to keep it simple, but some people who are illustrators that I follow, amazing illustrators, they have an illustration of theirs with their name on top of it. And I'm like, oh, of course they do. That's perfect. But I'm not an illustrator. And so I need to somehow get across what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But with my banner, we could go with the same kind of vibe that we're doing here, kind of this collage-y aesthetic, or we could go completely different. So I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I feel as though in what we've created over these 2 days, the logo really speaks to what I'm doing as a designer. I think it does kind of have that creative feel to it, even though we just used letters, which is great. I think that's what I wanted to achieve, and I'm happy that I achieved that.
Yeah. There's something about the logo and the collage style that have a really good relationship with each other, like the P being bigger than the K. It's almost like someone has cut it out very carefully.
Yeah.
You know, almost cutting letters out.
That's awesome. I'm really glad that that's coming across. I feel like that is my style, especially when it comes to design, you know, making handmade things that are graphic design. I really like incorporating that. So having that come across even within a digital logo that I didn't start by making from hand, I think that's great. I will say I don't start every logo project on the computer. I do also sketch out letters and all of that as well.
Right.
I'd have a type journal where I have a lot of crazy letters.
And how many, like, do you give yourself a certain amount of time to sketch or ideate or whatever you like to call it before moving onto the computer?
I don't really give myself an amount of time, but I do like to set it aside for like every day at least, especially if I'm like just making letters, if I don't have a certain project. But yeah, I definitely try to at least ideate one really good letter so that I know where I'm going from there. Yeah, I'm really loving the brown. I feel like the brown will be incorporated in my brand a little bit more. I feel like brown has started to become a favorite of mine, which I didn't think it would work in branding as much as it does. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be using brown, white, and green. So those might become probably the main colors of my branding here.
I love it. But I think we will need to actually start wrapping up now because we're right near the end. So are you going to be continuing this like on your channel as well? So if people want to follow along and see what happens? Yes,
I'm going to be making a whole video about my whole rebrand, photo shoot, design, everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So we'll check that out. Make sure you do check that out at Paola's YouTube channel as well. Should be some links in the description below. You may have come from Paola's channel, so you don't need me to tell you where to go. But Paola, thank you so much. It's been really great. Thank you for spending time with us on Tuesday and Thursday and taking us through this process. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was so fun.
And everybody in chat, thank you very much. It's almost the weekend, so you're almost there. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you all next week for Adobe Live. Thanks again, Paola.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.